Welcome back. Joining us for more on the day's market action is Momentum's Odwa Magwentshu. Thank you so much for your time, Odwa. I do see that the market is a little bit calmer today. The Nasdaq is in red territory, but obviously not as much as we'd seen on Monday. Is this the market kind of stabilizing and looking to the next thing?
I believe that's the case. On Monday, it was more of a shock than anything out of the ordinary. And I think right now it's just a matter of stabilization and people sitting on their hands. We are having heavyweights releasing their results at the close of market today in the US. That's your Metas, your Teslas, etc.
Yes.
And who've been pouring the most into this AI drive we've seen. So that is, I think the tone is going to be set tomorrow morning or tomorrow rather.
And we will see how investors react to the numbers also that they come out with in terms of how much they are investing in AI at the moment. We're talking about those. We did have ASML actually coming out with numbers today. The shares did jump actually after they released better than expected earnings there. I mean, is this just kind of emphasizing the fact that those companies are still valuable and worthwhile to look at?
Yes, I think so. One, I believe that AMSL is uniquely positioned because they're selling shovels in a gold rush. So everyone's always going to need the hardware that's necessary. So that's the one position. Now, what was interesting is that they also had close to 9 billion in sales in China. They may not be selling the latest stuff, but they're still selling in the Chinese market. So I think that is also quite interesting. So to your point, even though the Chinese have managed to get something cheaper that does the same capabilities, there's still the need for the hardware for other reasons.
All right. Well, let's get into the JSE companies that came out with numbers today. Hyprop coming out with its interim trading update. The geographically diversified retail they're posting continued positive growth in the regions. It was quite interesting seeing the share price because I saw it down, I think, about 2% earlier on in the trading session, but it did manage to reverse the majority of those losses. Just talk to me about this bag of numbers.
Yes, so the numbers will reflect the past 6 months. However, the key focus is for the November-December period. And it looks at foot traffic, it looks at tenants, and then also retail, foot traffic, tenants, and then revenue also in that period.
Yeah.
And interestingly to see is that the December-January period is where a lot of the growth came in, or the change as well came about. So numerically, November, December for both the South African market and the Croatian market. However, what was also interesting to look at is that in the Croatian part, the June, July, the August, September period, that's where you also saw the biggest jump in numbers in terms of percentage change. So the business is growing, as the numbers suggest, almost 10% up, and it shows December and November is always a good period.
All right. Anglo-American, it came out talking about the completion of its sale of a minority interest in Jellenbar. And of course, they're getting some cash for that, but really just cementing the strategy that they are undergoing at this point?
100%. Right now, it's still is very. I mean, we know as locals that it's a struggling industry. So divesting from steel and coal mines, I think, is a great strategy for them. And the $1 billion injection is quite a great one. I think it's going to be good in terms of any opportunities that come about for the business, but it's also a great way for them to strategize and have a good balance sheet in this moment.
All right. Odwa, before we get to your stock pick, I quickly want to go into Rainbow Chicken. Wasn't out today, but they snuck in an initial 6-month trading statement yesterday after market close at around 5:30. So it didn't really get time to go into that. But company saying that it expects its bottom line to surge by at least 1,100%. Talk to me about that.
the stars aligned for the business. Number one, the avian flu or bird flu rather,
Yeah.
stock is no longer available. So a lot of money was going into trying to keep the chickens healthy in that period. Load shedding. There's no more load shedding,
Yeah.
so no more diesel costs necessary. And so a lot of things just align, and then and also consumers are not as under pressure for a long period. Fish was the protein of choice, but now we're
Yeah.
going back to the chicken. So the stars basically align for the business, and as you said, expecting earnings of close to 1,100% higher.
That chicken definitely tasting better. Let's get to your stock pick for today. Odwa, what are you choosing?
For me personally, I'm going with Alibaba. I think that they are well positioned, and over the past 3 years, they've been growing revenue-wise, and also the operating margins have been getting wider over the past 3 years. So that is one thing. But also today, they announced that they have a competitor which is better than DeepSeek, which has already caused a lot of chaos this week. So just going with the underdog this time.
So much going on in that AI space. So thank you so much for your time and for your insights on what has moved investors' money today, Odwa. That was Odwa Magwentshu from Momentum Securities.